Alright, bridge caps, some bridge capping stuff, take two. Now, I gotta apologize for this video again today because my camera is really irritating me again. I just finished making this video and I went upstairs and I couldn't hear the sound, it's very low on it, so I'm not sure if it's because this humidifier is going away, droning on in the background or what, but anyway. Here's some bridge caps, and this is like the most fun part about the work that I do because it's the most dramatic. It's kind of like sculpting wood almost. It's also the most important to get right, I think. I mean, obviously the soundboard's super important, and thinning the edges on here, which hopefully I'll get a chance to show on the drum sander how I go around and this edge is thinner than here in important ways. I'm not going to show you which ways because, you know, you got to take my class and send me a whole bunch of money for that. But anyway, onward. I like to take these pieces of wood and lay them out first, kind of rough them in. So there's 3 segments here to this. You can see right here I've marked the I've marked that for a reason. After this is taken off, I want to know where that is because this is what's called a butt joint. You can see where the original cap is. Here's the seam. Here's the seam right here, and these 2 pieces of wood are just butt up against each other. Now the other thing to notice is look how nice that seam is. It hasn't changed since this piano was made, and so is this side. And in the 40 years that I've been doing this, I think I've seen one that had a slight separation in here. And why is that? Because wood does not change very much with humidity, and over time it doesn't dry out that much in this direction. It does it mostly in this direction, and it changes in this direction. Why is that? Because this is what's called quarter-sawn wood, and that's what it looks like on the edge when you look at a quarter-sawn piece of wood. When you try to look at a quarter-sawn piece of wood, when your camera won't look at a quarter-sawn piece of wood, it's trying. And anyway, here's a tree, or what's you know, sort of a bit of a tree, and it's not really showing that well. There we go. You can see the rings, so this would be cut out something like this, and as that tree is growing, so this piece of wood where it's not living anymore, but when the humidity goes up and down like it does here in the northeast of America, and I just show you right now that it's winter time out there, it's cold, I don't know, 11 degrees Fahrenheit, and this shop has forced air heating that comes out of there like a hair dryer. So this little guy, I put 2 of those containers of water every day in it, and it's working. It's fighting to keep the shop above 40%, that's pretty dry still, but it's okay. Pianos should be able to handle that. A lot of people who have pianos don't have any humidifiers, so that's why we get some of these things called cracks. But anyway, back to our story. What I'm doing now, and this is a small woodworking point that I want to make, which some people may roll their eyes, but I mean, there's no reason to not do this. You can see that I've taken this piece of wood, it's roughly in the shape of this bridge, which is going to be replacing at some point. It's roughly cut out of a big piece of wood that is like this over here, and I'm very excited about this because just this morning I learned that this video camera has a zoom, which in all the years I've been making these videos I didn't know this thing had a zoom on it. But that's my stash of wood, including some boxwood over there, which is interesting. Steinway used boxwood on their treble caps for a while. I have a bunch of that stuff up there just in case. But anyway, back to, again, try not to get scrambled on this. Like I said, I already did this video once, I probably screwed it up, but now that I'm doing it twice, I'm definitely going to screw it up. But what I've done here is rough that out of the plank, because when you cut a piece of wood, depending on how much you cut off, it affects how it is. How's that for an explanation? This thing is undergoing a small change in some way. I'm not going to define it scientifically. I'm not a scientist. I really don't know. But take it from somebody else. The wood undergoes a small change. So why not? I mean, there's no reason to not sneak up on this. So this is, I've roughed it out now, and then a week from now, I'll probably, when this is off, I'll probably cut it slightly closer. And I'm also going to start zooming in on the height. This is too high. Well, this is close. I probably won't even take anything off of this. But this is way too thick right now. So as I'm focusing in on the size of this, I'll take like a third off the top of here too. Just so when I'm setting the bearing, which is, imagine this thing gone and there's just a raw piece of wood on top here. To set the bearing, or how much this bridge cap and soundboard structure is going to deflect the piano wire, which you can see these grooves. That's the piano wire going over to the pin block that's no longer there, and the tuning pins and stuff. So how much this deflects the strings up here is important. It's really important. And maybe I'll show some of that. Probably not, because this isn't a how-to. I don't want to make a how-to series about how to rebuild pianos for a lot of reasons. But I just wanted to talk about the wood today. And so here's the bind bar. Again, you're sneaking up on it. I can't see that. It looks like those are cut marks that you see. This is quarter-sawn also. I don't know if I could, yeah, okay, there it is. Or anything else to do with this stuff. Oh yeah, well, actually, I talked about this butt joint here. I'm going to make a finger joint between these two pieces. Why? Because it's just fun. It's just big fun, and I like doing it, and I don't think there's any technical reason to do it. I mean, maybe structurally, maybe it's a little more cohesive between these three pieces of wood and the root. You could make that point a little bit more integrated. It might be a little stiffer. Not that this is going to move very much. There's no technical reason to do it. I do it because, even though I buy this wood from a distributor who has curated this wood from, who knows where, but I'm assuming it's been dried correctly. I'm assuming I know it's stable. But still, what if you got a piece of wood that was not that dry, not that stable, which might stress this joint out in the future? Why not have a finger joint that is a little more, I can't even say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to imply that something's better, but I'm not going to actually say it. So, anyway, I'm sure I've left something out. I mean, if you were with us yesterday, I was showing the fitting of these pin blocks. They are all set up now with... What I do is I fit them very carefully to this flange, but then I put down some wax paper, and then I put some of this epoxy in here, and I make it from pretty good to pretty perfect. So that's something that we would have never done 40 years ago, because we didn't have the same kind of epoxies that we have today. And it really might make a slight small difference that it's absolutely perfect. It can't hurt. Like they say, it can't hurt. So I guess that's all for today.